I'm Mark Hoke, and I've got to tell you about the incredible Family Soul Restaurant. They're the only soul food restaurant in Northwest Las Vegas, and simply put, they're the best in the city. Dan and his family have always treated me like I was a part of theirs every time we come in, and we never leave hungry. Start off with the amazing appetizers like their mac and cheese crab balls, crispy wings, and Dan's soul rolls. Then dive into Family Soul's dinners with homemade catfish, hot links, and fried chicken with all the amazing sides you could ever want, and finish it off with homemade peach cobbler and banana pudding. Plus, they're now open for breakfast Friday through Sunday, too. So head on over to Family Soul Restaurant right now at 2300 North Rainbow Boulevard, Suite 108, just off the Lake Mead and Cheyenne exits of I-95. Check them out at FamilySoulRestaurant.com or call 725-205-5085 for hours and their menu. Mention KDWN and get the People's Choice Special of catfish, yams, and greens for just $15.99. It's food for the soul and the family. Family Soul Restaurant. Hi, this is Mark Hoke. Has out-of-control inflation, gas prices, and grocery costs wrecked your wallet? Then check into automated day trading with Trading Made Easy. Trading Made Easy has spent 5 years helping people put cash in their pockets with their simple-to-use day trading software. So if you're ready to leave that 9-to-5 job behind, visit TradingMadEasy.com or call 800-971-4160 to sign up for a free live training seminar right now. That's TradingMadEasy.com.
1015 FM, 720 AM. KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fain, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
Idly ho there, neighborinos. I'm catching my breath.
Apparently.
Yeah.
You're Mark Flanders.
That was mean.
You're the one that said idly ho there, neighborinos.
Well, I did. Just scrambling a little bit.
I know you're upset because of your Orioles, but it was a great season for the O's.
I'm sad. I am a little sad about that.
And we'll talk about it tomorrow night, but I just wanted to at least just get it out of there because it's the big white elephant in the room.
We're gonna talk about it on SportsX Radio tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on KDWN 1015 FM 720 AM.
Imagine that. Yes, in the fish tank, believe in the process.
Yeah. Nice plug before we even talked about what this show is.
This show is going to be sad, I think. Good, but sad. Well, yeah, because we're going to talk about the legendary. Basically, it would be like if Vince McMahon died.
Close.
Yeah,
close.
This is not saying that Vince McMahon died. People don't go running to.
Wow, don't run that clip. Yeah, Vince McMahon. Mark Hoke Show reports that Vince McMahon is dead. No. Just Fish's hairstyle is dead.
Yes, it is.
I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us on the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 1015 FM. 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas. It's a station so nice, we're on your dial twice.
Yes, and I'm trying to tag out, but my partner isn't here.
This morning has turned into a fiasco. Joe DeFalco is back east, so we will not have Joe. And unfortunately, we were going to go 2 hours today, but it looks like we're only going to go one due to Fish having to depart unannounced.
Because of work.
Didn't tell me. That's okay.
No, I didn't. I just assumed Joe was going to be here doing both hours. It wasn't a big deal.
See, assumptions.
Yeah, when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me.
That is correct. Mostly me.
Yes.
But anyway, so we will just be doing 1 hour of the Mark.
So we'll just have to get all that more packed into that 1 hour.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Thanks.
See,
it's okay.
I don't know what you want to lead off with, but I know what I would like to talk about. So I want to see what you want to lead off with. Well, you are the Sherpa on this ride.
I actually did want to lead off with talking about Antonio Inoki because of his impact, not just in professional wrestling, but in the world, period.
Yeah, I mean, he founded New Japan.
Of course, Antonio Inoki, the legendary Japanese professional wrestler / diplomat / politician and
/ all around good guy.
Real, just an amazing influence in professional wrestling. Of course,
as you mentioned, found in New Japan and all, and really, I don't know if I can say he's the father of Japanese wrestling, but it's pretty darned close. And of course,
he's the Vinnie Mac without the sex of Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did have 4 wives, but Antonio Inoki.
Right, so he's just the Vinnie Mac. It's not.
Yeah. Antonio Inoki passed away on Friday.
Was it? I mean, and I hate to sound ridiculous, but was it sudden or
no? It was natural causes.
Okay.
This was.
I mean, he was only 79, right?
Yeah, he was 79. The cause of death was, gosh, I got to read this on the air. Systemic transthyretin amyloid.
Easy for you to say.
Amyloid. God.
Old age.
I didn't practice this.
That's okay. He died of natural causes. We'll just leave it at that.
Amyloidosis. There we go.
Okay.
Which is basically a bunch of proteins build up around your heart.
And stops.
Yeah, eventually takes you out. So.
Yeah, I mean, he got wrestling into North Korea.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that the average person who follows wrestling right now probably has just heard the name a little bit, but really doesn't know the impact
WWE Hall of Famer too.
That he had throughout professional wrestling. Of course, he started out doing MMA. He was trained by Carl Gotch, the legendary early on pioneer of pro wrestling back in the Carney days, where they would go around and hit carnivals and stuff like that. But of course, they packed Comiskey Park with his matches against George Hammerschmidt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking
back in the day,
incredible lineage for Antonio Inoki. But of course, was just everywhere in Japan, and he and Giant Baba probably your 2 greatest legends in Japanese wrestling. Was very well known for, I don't know if you saw the video or not, of one time he had this ritual that he did with everybody, that he would slap them to pass on his fighting spirit. And there was one day where he kind of did this open thing where anybody could come and get slapped by Antonio Inoki, and the line
out the door,
infinite.
I can imagine.
I don't know how he got through the day, but
it must have hurt his hand.
Yeah, but people loved this guy, and of course,
well, he was a great humanitarian, because you're right. He was more than just about the wrestling. He was about the wrestling bringing people together.
Yep, and he just, I mean, so many titles won, and of course, one thing that people may not know very well, technically, he was the WWF champion for a week. He had wrestled, Bob Backlund had gone over to wrestle him. Inoki won the title, and then they had a rematch which went to a no contest, but Inoki relinquished the belt. And WWE chose not to recognize the title change. One of those Jack Vanovo kind of things.
Right.
Of course, Ric Flair has a bunch of those that he did. Carlos Colon and so on, where the NWA didn't recognize the title change. Well, WWE did not recognize this title change. So when you say WWE champion, past WWE champions, he's not on there. But if you go on all sorts of different sources, you'll see that he did actually win the title.
And more importantly, he's in, like I said, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And deservedly so.
And of course, was such an influence in Japanese wrestling, and then went on to a political career, and he used his fame from wrestling to actually do diplomatic missions. He did things in Iraq, where he got some Japanese prisoners out of Iraq by promising to put on a wrestling show there. So he had met with Saddam Hussein. He had met with the North Korean regime, and of course that had the collision in Korea set up, which still is the most attended wrestling card
150,000 was that it?
2-day festival that was, and that drew
there was 150,000 in one day.
It was one. Give me 1 second. I had it here. 150 and 165.
Yeah, it makes WrestleMania 3 look like a birthday party.
It was there was a lot of fiasco going on behind the scenes if you ever saw the Dark Side of the Ring episode, but that was the only time that he ever wrestled Ric Flair. and defeated Ric Flair on that card on the second day. But, I mean, Inoki's presence in professional wrestling, I mean, it's so deep, and of course, had a fairly successful political career. It
looms large, and I think it's fair to say without Antonio Inoki, wrestling wouldn't be what it is today.
I think that's a pretty fair statement. Yeah, I mean, people who are just casual fans who just watch WWE or WWF, or were NWA had much more interaction with New Japan, obviously, than WWE does. And now AEW has been bringing over a lot of the Japanese wrestlers as well. But Japanese wrestling, the Tokyo Dome constantly sells out shows. It is huge over there, and a lot of Americans have found work and rebuilt their careers by going to Japan. Of course, the runs that Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody had over there, legendary. So
absolutely, I mean, and guys like Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan go there still.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, and of course, the Bucks and Kenny Omega and all those guys, really chopped their teeth over there.
Absolutely.
One of the most recent ones, Omega and Chris Jericho, when Jericho did the Painmaker thing.
Yeah,
those guys just tore it down out over there, and their fans are rabid, and a lot of it is because of Antonio Inoki.
No question, he will be missed.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was just a great ambassador. And, of course, one other thing that he did, which I think it was probably the most mainstream, was the fight with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And
as you said, and not to steal your thunder, and you brought this up before the show started, it was basically the precursor to MMA.
It was, fight,
was that before or after the Gorilla Monsoon Muhammad Ali fight?
That is a good question. You hit me with one, I'd have to check the dates on.
Sorry, okay. I thought maybe you knew. I mean, if it was around the same, were they around the same time at least?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
But of course, that fight was, Inoki was the Japanese wrestling legend. Ali was
Ali.
This was in the prime of his career in the late 70s, and
that was the end of his career, the late 70s. Prime of his career was the early 70s.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I got you.
Still, he was the heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh yeah, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And gonna hit you, Antonio Inoki.
A lot of people were somewhat disappointed with how that fight went, and reason being that at the last second, and this was something I didn't realize. I had seen it, but I didn't know why what happened. At the beginning, Inoki went for this diving leg kick, and then stayed on the ground, and the reason he did it was because he had managed to get a rule put in at the last second that if Inoki's on the ground, he could kick. So Inoki, after he does this first flying kick, lies on the ground, and he was like he was a turtle on its shell, and was just kicking away at Ali for most of the fight. Ali was trying to figure out what to do. I mean, there's legendary pictures of him perched up on the ropes with Inoki trying to kick him, and Inoki's just scooting around the ring because he didn't want to get punched by Ali.
Can you blame him?
Yeah, and eventually Inoki did try to stand up and got tagged a couple of times and said, "To heck with that." And was kicking Ali in the groin, but a lot of people kind of forgot about that after, because it was really, the fight wasn't what everybody thought it would be. But really, when you think about that, that is the precursor to MMA. This was the first time that two different fighting styles have been put in the ring together to see what would happen. Inoki the wrestler, Ali the boxer, who's going to win. And if you think about what Inoki was doing, well, it happens all the time in MMA now. Guys are fighting, they're on the ground and they're fighting.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty interesting, and I'd tell everybody go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. It was a bizarre scene, but pretty cool. But Antonio Inoki passing away at the age of 79, and you will be missed, Mr. Inoki.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Inoki-san.
Yes. Did they do I don't know if they did the 10-bell salute on SmackDown. Did they do a mention of it?
They did mention on SmackDown.
Okay.
The news came kind of late, but they
I did. Okay.
So Antonio Inoki passing away. Wow. Of course, this is the Mark Hoke Show on KDWN 101.5 FM, 7:20 a.m. We are the talk of Las Vegas. And before you get out of here, Fish, Extreme Rules coming up Saturday night.
So it will be before our next show.
It will be before our next show, so we have to get our predictions in on that.
The one thing I would like to talk about real quick, I don't know if it's real quick, is the whole White Rabbit.
Yes.
That WWE is doing. And the more I think about it, the more I realize how ballsy, if you excuse the term, this really is for the WWE. First of all, it's worked because not this past Friday, the Friday before, at 9:23, when they were going to do the White Rabbit thing, viewership for SmackDown was at 2.65 million.
Yeah, let's explain what this White Rabbit thing is, because for all everybody knows,
that's a good point.
About drugs or
I just assume that they know because they're wrestling fans, but you're right. Go ahead.
So, WWE a few weeks ago at their live events, at the breaks, started playing the song White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. And everybody's like, why are they playing White Rabbit? This is weird.
You got also got to say the lights also went red.
Eventually, yeah, they started adding that in. And now all of a sudden, this White Rabbit, these cryptic messages have been popping up all over WWE TV with QR codes. So people are scanning the QR codes and they're getting these hints that are leading to the White Rabbit. They did this reverse recording this week that you could hear. Just bizarre stuff. I mean, you got a Hangman game and all sorts of different things going on associated with this White Rabbit that nobody knows who is. We're assuming it's going to be Bray Wyatt.
And it has worked tremendously. Like I said, it's what people are talking about in the wrestling world, period. It's the number one trending topic in wrestling. Like I said, it had the viewership for SmackDown jumped to over 2.5 million viewers for the quarter hour when it was going to come on.
And clearly people are anticipating the return of Bray Wyatt. So a lot of people are tuning in to catch it, but they keep dropping these hints. But the aside from that, this is like a social media scavenger hunt that WWE is trying on this. And once again, and I think this is the bigger point to it, other than probably an imminent return of Bray Wyatt, this is a little game for everybody to play. This is something that WWE is trying to trail people around, to get them to click, use their phones, follow QR codes, and so on. And I'm going to tell you something, Fish, that right now, if everybody in entertainment is not seeing this and saying, this is something we should be doing, then they're nuts.
No.
I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Moneyball. With sabermetrics, because everybody said, well, sabermetrics is stupid. We can't, Bill James is wrong. We can't do it this way. Well, WWE has an innovation here that they have come up with, and their social media people, genius.
Yeah.
I would be, if I were a company, or like you're previewing a movie.
Here's something
like that. I mean, this opens up a whole load of possibilities.
This is my issue with it, though. And it's not an issue with it because they've done a brilliant job with it so far. And yes, while it appears that it's Bray Wyatt, there are other people or things that it possibly could be.
Yes.
My issue becomes, if the ending is not satisfactory, it will be ruined, in the sense that they can never do anything like it again because people will never believe them. They would have lost all credibility. So it almost has to be something that big. It can't be, because one of the things that they said it could be, and this was on, I think it was on Cultaholics, they were talking, or maybe it was WrestleMania, it was the 6 possible people it could be the White Rabbit. One of them was Baron Corbin, and it was Baron Corbin because one of the clues was Corbin, Kentucky. But that, I don't think it's going to be Baron Corbin. One of them was the return of Sanity, because those are people that Triple H is together with. One of them was that it was Karrion Kross, because he a while ago played a character called the White Rabbit. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the Bray Wyatt. And if it's not Bray Wyatt, which it almost has to be, I think the disappointment will be so huge that people will not pay attention if WWE tries anything like this again.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. But once again, I do think that people get a kick out of that kind of stuff. And even if it doesn't come out to be, if it's not Bray Wyatt, still, they've really learned something on this. And I like I said, I think it's really innovative. I think that you could contests, promotions, all sorts of different stuff that you could do leading a trail like this. It's pretty cool.
No. When and where do you think is the end game at Extreme Rules? I mean, nobody knows. But in your best guess, is it extra? Because everyone thought there was going to be at Smackdown 2 weeks ago, that it was going to be at Raw the following Monday.
Which is kind of the point.
Yeah, exactly, to get you to tune in. So, there has to be an end point.
You would think it would be Extreme Rules. That would make sense. I mean, I don't think you can drag this out too long. But, yeah, it's fascinating. Very, very innovative.
The psychology is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's something WWE needed. I don't know if under Vince McMahon they would have done something like this.
No, it's like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Yeah.
Here, kitty, kitty.
And I wonder how AEW will respond, because they're going to have to do something, not necessarily of this ilk, but something in response to it.
But I think everybody's going to. I mean, like I said, I think this is something that people in entertainment, if you see that this is drawing ratings, that you're building to something, and you could be building towards a character return in a show, or hey, this is, we have X movie coming out, and hey, you're going to get a special preview if you follow this. Here's a clue to what might happen. There are so many possibilities with just the technique of what they're doing. It's incredible.
I hate to bring out this name, but there's also the fear that it's going to end up being the gobbledygooker.
Which would be kind of funny.
Yes, but I mean, not the actual gobbledygooker, but that kind of ending. The problem is, if AEW does something like this, won't it be, that's just them copying WWE at that point?
What's wrong with that? I'm telling you, everybody's going to copy this.
To a certain extent. I think you'll have to have their own twist on it, obviously.
Right, but if it's drawing ratings, it's drawing views, hundreds of thousands of people are clicking on, scanning their QR codes in the phone.
Have you been doing it?
No.
Neither have I.
Actually, I did not. I've just waited for the reports.
That's exactly what I've been doing, too.
I'm stubborn on this. But
yeah, I've been reading the Fightful Select and what they're saying about it.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's fascinating, and we'll see if that culminates at Extreme Rules coming up here in a little bit.
Less than a week.
And it's actually a pretty good card.
And by the way, I hear Brock Lesnar's coming back for Crown Jewel.
And boy, you are just killing me here, Fish.
How am I killing you?
Because that was another thing I was going to talk about, because we do have a couple minutes left here on the Mark Hoke Show for the first half hour. Brock Lesnar has apparently announced his return. He will be on another flight to Saudi Arabia to pick up another $10 million, I would imagine.
Apparently it was because Goldberg is not under contract, so that Goldberg is not going to be there, so Brock Lesnar will be. Because apparently Brock Lesnar's next scheduled appearance was supposed to be day one.
Yeah, well, guess what? The Saudis said, here's a bag of money, and Brock said, okay.
My guess is he has to fight Bobby Lashley, right?
No, my guess is they're going to put him in with Daniel Cormier.
I thought you were going to say Roman Reigns again.
No, of course, Daniel Cormier was announced as the special guest referee for this pit match between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle on Extreme Rules. And if you remember, he was actually trending this morning, but if you remember, those two were bracing for a big MMA fight, but it never came off. There are clips of the confrontation they had at one of the UFC events. I believe it was back in 19, somewhere in there. We could be seeing Daniel Cormier and Brock Lesnar in a WWE ring.
I just don't want it to end up like Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez ended up.
You would hope not, but this could be fun.
Yeah, because if it's not Cormier, I would suggest Bobby Lashley would be the only other person it could be.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I think it's pretty cool, to say the least. You know what else is cool, Fish?
What?
Having a good attorney in your corner.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep. Hey, my friend Dutch Boyd at VegasCounsel.com is ready to help you out with whatever you need. I mean, he's graduated from law school when he was 18 years old, 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner, longtime Las Vegas resident now, does all sorts of stuff, personal injury, crypto clients, business law, intellectual property, which, trust me, is one of his specialties. Business law, he's terrific. And he's a friend of mine, too. I can personally vouch for the guy. He's going to help you. He really will. So if you have any legal issues, go to VegasCouncil.com. It's COUNSEL.com and say hi to Dutch Boyd and, get your legal problems squared up. And, by the way, if you're hungry, too, head on over to Family Soul Restaurant. We got to make sure we say hi to them as well. Man, I'll tell you, some catfish, shrimp and grits, all sorts of great stuff. They're serving breakfast right now. Head on over to Family Soul Restaurant, 2300 North Rainbow Boulevard, Suite 108 in Las Vegas. FamilySoulRestaurant.com or give them a call, 725-205-5085. That's Family Soul Restaurant. Tell them we sent you. That big special's there for you, too.
The People's Choice.
KDWN, the People's Choice, man. Stick around. We've got more on the Mark Hoke Show, Extreme Rules, AEW, all sorts of stuff going on. We will be right back.
When it comes to having the right attorney in your corner, you want to have a proven winner on your side. And Russell Dutch Boyd of VegasCouncil.com knows how to win in Las Vegas. Boyd graduated at 18 years old from law school and is also a 3-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner. And no matter what legal challenges you're facing, Boyd will help you through it all. As a litigation attorney, he covers multiple areas of law, including personal injury, business law and startup, cyber law, and crypto clients, and whatever else you might need to navigate the legal waters of Las Vegas and beyond. Just visit VegasCouncil.com to set up your free initial consultation today. That's VegasCounsel.com and let Dutch Boyd help you win today. Once again, that's Russell Boyd at VegasCouncil.com.
.1015 FM, 720 AM. KDWN, the talk of Las Vegas.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 101.5 FM, 720 AM. Talk of Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. Andrew Fain.
That's me.
By my side for the next half hour.
Yay.
Said, unfortunately, I apologize that we did announce we were going to go 2, but we're only doing 1 today because of departures and absences. So
Absences more than departures.
no, it's both.
No, because if he wasn't absent, you'd do hour 2, regardless of my departure.
Yeah, either way. But the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We are going to get to Extreme Rules in a little bit, but one thing that I wanted to talk about that is going on AEW. I got excited this week, and I think a lot of other people did too. Fish is over here being sarcastic, but he's completely wrong. What happened with Chris Jericho this week? A new invention from I don't know, do we call him the man of 1,000 gimmicks now?
Yeah, he is. Remember, he was the man of 1,000 holds, and he was naming them.
Beautiful list.
Yes.
He's good at lists.
Yeah, he's very good. Chris Jericho is as good as he is. He's still maybe one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time.
I don't know, but it's funny. Even Tony Khan said Chris might be doing the best work of his career right now. He might be right, because what happened with Chris Jericho, of course, he won the Ring of Honor World Championship last week at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. So this week he defends against Bandito, who had never gotten a rematch. He was the champ towards the end of Ring of Honor and during the pandemic. And, if you hadn't watched Ring of Honor, you probably hadn't seen Bandito wrestle very much. He's really good. He actually held Chris Jericho up for 53 seconds in the air on this show. And he's not built like Brock Lesnar or anything. Fantastic match. So Jericho beats Bandito in the end and then says, I am going to ruin the legacy of Ring of Honor. I am going to destroy everything that was good about Ring of Honor. I'm going to pass champions, referees, announcers, ring announcers, and then Bobby Cruz is in the ring with him, who, of course, is the longtime ring announcer for Ring of Honor. And he attacks Bobby Cruz. Of all people, the sweetheart, the Ring of Honor ring announcer, and kicks him. Judas affects him and lays him out and is screaming he's going to destroy the legacy of Ring of Honor, and I'm going to beat all the past world champs and everything else. And I'm just sitting there saying to myself, that's pretty cool. Because, of course, the Ring of Honor legacy, that's why Tony bought the darn thing, because of the past history of Ring of Honor. So now Jericho is saying he's going to be going after all the past Ring of Honor champions. Well, Fish, that is a fascinating list of people.
Yeah.
This is interesting, and I get and I'll run it down real fast. Now, obviously, some of these guys aren't going to be able to wrestle, retired or whatever. Low Key was the first champ. I don't know if he's still around, but he's out there. Xavier's done, but
Xavier Woods. You mean?
No, not him. Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, Punk, James Gibson, who is Jamie Noble. He's obviously unavailable. Bryan Danielson, who he challenged to wrestle in Toronto. Homicide. Takeshi Morishima, he's retired. Nigel McGuinness, who hasn't wrestled for a long time, was announcer in WWE, so he's a little tied up. Jerry Lynn, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time, and he's an AEW coach. Austin Aries, Tyler Black, which is Seth Rollins, so wouldn't see him. Roderick Strong still tied up, obviously, in NXT. Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, the former American Wolves. Kevin Steen, which is Kevin Owens, so he's unavailable. Jay Briscoe, Adam Cole. Michael Elgin is still flying around. He's been doing Japan and independent scene. Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. Christopher Daniels is still with AEW. Cody Rhodes obviously tied up. Dalton Castle, Jay Lethal, Matt Taven's an Impact right now. I'm sure they could get him if they wanted. Roosh, who just re-signed with AEW. PCO, one of the former Quebecers who won the title when he was at 50 years old. And then Bandito and Jonathan Gresham, he's not coming back. He's a little grumpy. But this is going to be fun because, of course, he's also said he's going to go after everybody. He beat up Kerry Silken about a week ago when he was wrestling Claudio. That means Ian Riccaboni, the announcer, Caprice Coleman, who's also a wrestler. Man, this could get intense, dude. And you're bringing back the nostalgia and the history of this run. I think this is going to be a lot of fun for Chris and a lot of fun for the fans.
I would agree if there were more people that he could wrestle. There's too many people on that list he's not going to wrestle. He's not going to wrestle CM Punk because CM Punk's not coming back. And you mentioned...
I don't know that. We don't know if he's not coming back or not.
He's not coming back. The Bryan Danielson...
Do you want to bet a nickel on that?
Bryan Danielson, he was already going to be wrestling, so that's not a big deal. The fact that he can't wrestle Tyler Black, Seth Rollins.
Obviously, there's a few guys who can.
Right. And Matt Taven, from what I gather, may be heading WWE way as well because him, Maria Kanellis, and Mike Bennett are all, their contracts are now up, and they're very interested, or WWE apparently is very interested in the three of them.
That you've still got a really long list of...
Yeah, but some of them are guys that he'd wrestle anyway, like a Samoa Joe. So it's not that novel a concept because of the names are guys who are in AEW already.
But I think Fish the Wrestling World might disagree with you that it's not a novel concept. And it caught on pretty quick, and a lot of people are speculating as to how this will end up. Who's going to be the man to stop Jericho from wrecking the legacy of Ring of Honor? Because they could drag this out for a long time, but it to me is a very innovative idea.
It depends if they have the Ring of Honor finally gets its own show. If it's just part of an AEW show, then it doesn't mean anything because then it's just AEW.
We'll see where that ends up, but I think this is going to be interesting, and it's going to tug at a lot of people's heartstrings that are especially Ring of Honor fans are going to be like, wow, don't wreck my Ring of Honor.
Well, there aren't enough of them. If there were, Ring of Honor wouldn't have gone out of business. And so
there's still a lot of people like Ring of Honor, Fish.
Yeah, right. there are, but there are not nearly enough of them to make that much of a difference. Is the point?
Well, we'll see.
Yes, we will.
We'll see, you WWE apologist.
I'm not apologizing for anything.
AEW hater.
Yes,
you are a hater-ater.
because everyone has overrated this company.
You know, they're coming up on the starting their 4th year.
I'm well aware.
As we're getting ready for their anniversary show coming up.
Yeah. And Impact's been around for 20 years, and I still don't think Impact's all that great either.
Yeah. Impact has been a very interesting promotion, to say the least.
Yes, it has. From TNA to Impact, and it's because of Impact we have people like AJ Styles too. So,
yeah, and but I think AEW is going to be isn't going anywhere for a long time, and they're going to have. They've got a good TV contract.
It's not that I hate AEW. I just can't stand Tony Khan. I think he's an absolute turd.
Wow. I think that he is a guy who still has a lot to learn about the wrestling business. And I think he has a lot to learn about sharing authority a little bit. Once he does that, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, but don't do it on my dime.
Well, a lot of people, he's making a lot of dimes from it. So.
And he's not. They're losing money left. What
are you talking about?
AEW is losing money right now.
How do you know? You got the books?
Yeah, I've seen the financials about it. I haven't poured over them, but they are definitely losing
They're
money.
$1 million gates. What are you talking about? They're doing.
They've
fine.
done it. They've gotten like $2 million gates. They are losing money because the amount of contracts they handed out and the amount of money they're paying, the amount of people they're paying that much money to.
I would love to see the books. I'd love to see the books.
I guarantee you they are losing money right now.
Okay, you say so. You say so, AEW accountant man.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fish wants to start a fight. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us on the Mark Hoke Show.
I don't want to start a fight. I just think that AEW is way overrated.
Say what you want.
I did.
Okay, you did. It's fine. I'm Mark Hoke, Andrew Fish Fain. He is the AEW hater.
Yes.
Poor guy. I feel bad for him.
I don't.
Because we really enjoy it. Maybe we should do what Gunther did and change all your letters to capitals.
Yeah, I still don't understand that point of that either, but okay.
You could be Andrew Fain.
Yeah, possibly.
Gunther, by the way, if you didn't see that, they changed it to all caps again. When he was Walter, it
was all caps. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
we're back to all caps with him. Randy Orton, by the way, some news about Randy Orton. The WWE
didn't like this.
WWE is very concerned about what's going on with Randy. Of course, he had a back injury that really ended the run of RK Bro. And sources from WWE are saying that they are really worried about this. The quote from Wrestling Observer Newsletter was that there's a lot of concern regarding Orton's back injury and its severity. Of course, he's been wrestling for 20-plus years. But as tough as Randy Orton is, for him to be out this long and people are saying that, wow, this is a huge blow to WWE if Randy Orton is...
Absolutely, and they're saying that he's not going to wrestle again this year, no matter what.
No, that's not happening. That was already said. He's done for the rest of the year.
And so. It's scary because Randy Orton's been one of the constants for the last 20 years at WWE since he came in with Batista and Brock and John Cena, and they all came up together.
Yeah, so we'll see if Randy Orton can get back. But like I said, apparently WWE is very worried about what is going on with him right now. So we'll find out. But that's a sad story if
it is.
If Randy can't get back
in the ring.
Soon.
Yeah,
but you never know. I mean, things.
Maybe RKOing out of nowhere again soon.
Yeah, give him a year. Of course, the guy's got a family and everything else. And would you blame Randy if he said I'm done?
Oh, absolutely not.
No,
and he's got nothing left to accomplish or prove.
No, he doesn't. So. Yeah, but that's some bad news out of WWE land. But you know what? Because I got to get these in since we'll have 1 hour. If Randy has to retire, he could always go into the world of automated day trading software. Go to Trading Made with Trading Made Easy. Guys, you can drop that 9-to-5 job, pick up some extra cash, however you want to do it. But the bottom line is do it. Go to tradingmadeasy.com. It's so easy. They only need one E in the website. TradingMadEasy.com or call 800-971-4160 and get a free live trading session this week. Learn all about it. There's no obligation. No one's going to ask you for your credit card or anything like that. They just want you to go in and see what it's all about. And if you like it, get into it and start making some money. That's TradingMadeEasy.com or Trading Made Easy at TradingMadEasy.com or 800-971-4160. $60. So there you go on that. I know I've got to get. Oh, and then when you win that money, by the way, you can go to betonline.ag. And you can bet on wrestling there, or just about any sport right now. If you want to put some money on the games today, you can do it. And all we ask you to do is go to markhokeshow.com and click on one of our links there to go to betonline.ag. You'll see it on the sponsor page on the front page. Click on there, sign up. You're getting a 50% deposit bonus. So if you put in $1,000, you get up to $1,000. You put in $1,000, you get $500 back on top of it. So that is a heck of a deal. So please go to our website, markhokeshow.com. Click on one of those links. Sign up today. That bet is still up. If MJF is going to be the world champion before the end of the year, you can put money on it right now. If you think it's not going to be in time, it's plus 250, Fish. Plus 250.
And you know, the later you wait, the less time there is for him to win it.
That's right. So, yeah, I think it's minus 400 that he will, and plus 250 he won't. I have a feeling that 250 might be a good bet, Fish.
I think it might be.
Yeah, so go ahead and sign up for that right now. We would certainly appreciate it. And let's see. Let's get this one more piece of business out of the way, and then we can move on to our Extreme Rules predictions, which I think are going to be pretty interesting. If you are tired of that same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch, there's a different place to go. Go to with unique food that I'm sure you're going to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your day and stop into Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and fantastic staff over there. I got to tell you what, I never see my drink, Fish, when I'm there, get below like 2/3 empty. I mean, it's amazing how terrific their staff is. So if you need to start your day or grab lunch, great omelets, sandwiches, pasta. He's got award-winning pizzas. It's a great dining experience. Won't break the bank. They've also got a smoothie bar, vegetarian menu, and Dominic does amazing catering as well. Very known for that here in Las Vegas. So go to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. They're open until 3 p.m. daily. You can call them at 702-992-3038 or visit them in uniqueeatslv.com for info and that.
Delicious food, by the way.
Yeah, Fish and I've gone there too. Yeah, it's Unique Eats. So say hi to them.
It's not Unique Ats with only one E, though.
No, it's Unique Eats. Good food. We should go over there for. Well, you're going to work, so you can't go.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry, buddy. I would have invited you over, but you're tied up. And by the way, I also want to wish everybody safety and quick recovery from everything that's going on with Hurricane Ian. Pretty sad story there, boy. That thing that got in the southwest corner, and I know people down in the Naples, Fort Myers area, they got crushed, and that's actually where Beasley's corporate headquarters is, which runs all 5 of our stations here in Las Vegas. If you want to help out there, just go to bbgi.com, and they've got a page on there where you can make donations, and would certainly encourage everybody to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, there's going to be a hurricane of brewing in Philadelphia coming up on Saturday night.
And it's got nothing to do with Shane Helms.
No, he will not be. Well, he might be there.
Yeah, but he won't be the reason for the hurricane.
No Rousey or anything like that. But Extreme Rules on Saturday night.
And I believe so far every match has a stipulation.
Yeah. Last year I think only one match had a stipulation.
Yeah, so it was kind of stupid. This year everyone has a different stipulation.
It was not extreme. It was just an X, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this time around, not so much. We got a pretty wild card here, and Fish, let's talk about the Extreme Rules.
Let's do it.
We have, I guess I'll start from the bottom here. The Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch, taking on Imperium, my boys. Gunther. It's now not Gunther. It's Gunther. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci in a 6-man tag team, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Kind of hearkening back to the 20s with gang fights in New York City.
And I just, depending, if they're doing the 50-50 booking, then the Brawling Brutes have to win this match.
You think so?
But if they want to show the strength of Imperium and have them move forward, and especially with Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion, I see Imperium winning this match.
I think Imperium is a lock to win this match. And I looked last night and I didn't see if betonline.ag had any odds on this, but yeah, you gotta have Imperium win this. You got the tag team back together finally.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I was agreeing with you. That's why I said the only way that Brawling Brutes win is if they can do the 50-50 booking, and that'll make Imperium look weak, and I don't think they want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that. So, yeah, odds are not up on this yet. I'm kind of surprised, but they will be soon, I'm sure. But, yeah, but I will say this. It's going to be a fun match.
Oh, absolutely.
That is going to be a great match.
Hard-hitting.
To say the least. I mean, I still remember the last War Games, the War Games that those guys had with the Undisputed Era, where one of the guys in Imperium actually got hurt, and they ended up going 4-on-3. I mean, that was still an incredible match.
Absolutely.
So I am psyched.
It will be a great match. This is a good card for a lesser premium live event. It's a good card.
Edge and Finn Balor will be facing off in an I Quit match. Yikes.
I don't see Edge saying I quit.
It's hard to imagine, but Balor is getting a major push right now. Everybody says, of course, for those that forgot, Finn Balor was actually the first Universal Champion, but got hurt in the match with Seth Rollins. I believe it was a separated shoulder.
Yeah.
And they had him relinquish the title.
Next day, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a one-day reign for Finn Balor, favorite of Triple H. And I have a feeling Balor's going over on this.
Now,
I really do.
I think if they do it, the way they'll do it is have Edge pass out. My question is what happens as far as, because the storyline for Finn Balor and Judgment Day is AJ Styles joining up, which means the two Bullet Club dudes getting together. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays a part if it does.
Yeah, I think this will be a very good match as well.
Yeah, I do too.
We have Bianca Belair defending the WWE Raw Women's Championship in a ladder match against Bayley.
I don't see Bianca losing to Bayley.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I do.
Of course you do.
I do. Why wouldn't I?
Why would you?
We can't keep asking that rhetorical question. Fish, why do you think Bianca Belair has no chance to lose to Bayley?
I think they're making her, as they should, a very strong champion, and they're going to keep it going, especially considering the weakness of the championship on the SmackDown brand.
Well, of course, you have Damage Control. They're a group you're trying to build up, and already two members with the women's tag team titles. It's always better when the chase is being done by the babyface. And I have a feeling that with Bayley's return and the way this is going, I think Bayley wins this match and Bianca gets in a major feud with Bayley for a long time, which, hey, I'm good with that.
It was supposed to happen anyway.
Right.
They were in the middle of one when she got hurt.
So I have a feeling that Bayley is going to go over in this one and will win the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross with the lovely Scarlett in his corner in the strap match. Fish, you need to watch the match, not Scarlett.
Unfortunately. I mean, yes. I will say this. I would love to see Drew go over, but there's no way. Kross is going over in this match.
Kross is so going over in this match.
There's no question.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another, once again, I think this is going to be a great match to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's just no way they can have Drew go over in this match.
Yeah, you're pushing Karrion Kross, and
I mean, Karrion Kross hasn't had a real match since he's been back.
Could you imagine if WWE did that to him again? He lost his first match back. Of course, when he was moved up to the Raw brand, shockingly lost to Jeff Hardy. I think the Gladiator, there was a piece of the Gladiator helmet that got stuck in his eye or something, but a 2-minute squash, which was just unreal. But I don't think they'll do that to Kross.
No, I don't see Kross losing this match.
Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins in a fight pit match. Daniel Cormier is the special guest referee. The former MMA fighter is
Rollins is going over again. They're still either punishing Riddle for what he said, or they just can't have Rollins lose to him at this point.
Boy, we're disagreeing. I'm gonna lean towards Rollins winning this match.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry, Riddle. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think Riddle's going to get a win here, but I think something crazy is going to happen, and I think Cormier, and this could involve Brock Lesnar too, could be a lot of fun. I think there's going to be mayhem in this match. That is my main prediction for this one. So we'll see how that goes. And Liv Morgan will be defending the WWE Women's SmackDown title in an Extreme Rules match against Ronda Rousey, so pretty much anything goes.
They've tried so hard to make it look like Liv can be extreme, and it just hasn't worked. Ronda Rousey is going to dominate this match.
I think so, too. Well, I think Liv will have a good showing.
Yeah, I mean, but they've tried to make, and it just doesn't look right.
It's not her style.
No, and she doesn't have the crowd support that she had before she won the title.
Nope. So Ronda Rousey should be going over. But I will say for this card, excited to see it.
Unless Charlotte Flair comes back and somehow, because she's due back at any time still.
Yeah, we'll see. Wedding's
Maybe
over,
she's the White Rabbit.
over. Yeah, that could be too. She looked cute in bunny ears. All right, that's it for the Mark Hoke Show today.
She should be the White Rabbit. She should show up in bunny ears, though.
That's what I just said.
I know. No, I'm not for the
Follow
cuteness,
us.
just to throw people off, make people think she's the White Rabbit. Acknowledge me.
Oh, my God. Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. MarkHokeShow.com is the website for all information about the show. MarkHokeShow.podbean.com for all of the podcasts. We'll have this one up as quickly as possible. All sorts of great stuff going on there. Guys, thanks for listening. We do appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the Mark Hoke Show. Have a great Sunday, Las Vegas, and around the world. We'll see you next week.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit MarkHokeShow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at MarkHokeShow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.